Morning everyone, and welcome back to the Runpreneur vlog, where we discuss all things entrepreneurship and running. It is a really fresh morning. I think the feels like temperature is about -6. It's a biting wind, so really cold, can barely feel my hands and feet, so not great running conditions. Morning. And it's Wednesday well-being today, where we discuss all things kind of mindset, well-being, mental health related. And today's topic is stop overestimating, learn to say no. So as always, if you like this episode, please give it a like and a subscribe, and let's get started. So this is a important topic about overestimating, learning to say no, fear of missing out. All this stuff is kind of linked, and I think a lot of success to a lot of entrepreneurs comes down to their ability to remain focused. Now, I am as guilty as anybody with this, so much so I have so many things going on, but I do bizarrely feel in control at the moment. But historically, you know, I've had so many situations where I've had far too much on, which has caused kind of stress, overwhelm, anxiety, and ultimately failure. So I am consciously aware of that through experience, but so many people are not, and they'll often overestimate what they can achieve, what they can deliver on, and predominantly because of the fear of missing out. You know, you get statements that, like Richard Branson's, that I disagree with. I used to follow it. You know, if an opportunity presents itself, just say yes and learn the rest later. Well, that's okay if you're Richard Branson and you've got a huge teams of people associated with taking the opportunities and bringing them to life. Most entrepreneurs that I know are smaller, either one-man band or very small teams, and don't have that resource available to take on endless opportunities. So I think it's a flawed advice unless you have the infrastructure to tackle it, and then it's very probably sensible advice. But I think the key thing is that very different to kind of what a lot of people are at their stage of the journey. So as I said, fear of missing out is one of the biggest contributors to this. And what we mean by that is that someone presents something to you and you think, oh no, if I don't carry on with this, or I don't take this on, what if that is the big thing and I've missed the boat? Well, you know what? You have to learn sometimes that if that happens, then that's unlucky. However, if you do take it on and you can't give it the kind of resource or the focus that opportunity requires, it wouldn't have been a success anyway. So you have to try and keep yourself grounded and understand that you may bottleneck that opportunity if you commit to something where you can't actually deliver. Okay, now I'm guilty of this all the time, purely and simply because since I've been doing this running vlog, there's several investors that have come to the table because of it. There's business opportunities that come from it. A new social media agency is being launched because of it. There's new business conversations going on almost monthly at the moment because it's opening up so many doors. But you have to be sensible and understand that fear of missing out is a distraction. It's an issue. It's something that can, if not controlled, it can make the difference between you succeeding and failing. And the most successful entrepreneurs out there are the ones that have the ability to say no. Okay? You will always have an opportunity to take on new opportunities at some point in the future, but you do it in a sustainable way. I mean, I did a conversation recently about how many projects and goals you should take on at a given point in time, and it's fairly well documented that number is generally between 3 and 7 at any given point in time. So this is projects, high level projects, or goals or milestones. Now, it might be that a goal or milestone is related to an individual business, or it might be that a goal or milestone is related to, you know, different departments within a business or different product launches and that side of things. Only you know how you kind of devise those targets, but the rule is the rule. 3 to 7. 3 is often better than 7. Everyone goes, oh, okay, I can have 7 projects on. 7 is still bordering on the edge of overwhelm, and you want to try and avoid that. So I think the biggest question is, if you've got your 3 to 7 projects that you're working on first. Do not take any new ones on until you complete one of the existing. Just resist the fear of missing out and learn to say no. Believe you me, because look at the scenarios that could transpire here. Scenario 1, you go, yes, I'll take on this new opportunity, even though you've already got 7 existing projects happening. What happens? Well, that 8th project may take up a significant proportion of time, far more than an 1/8 of your working time that you have, and as a result, the other projects you're working on suffer, so you don't achieve those, and you can't give the required focus to your the new opportunity, so that fails. So in that scenario, you've got kind of 8 projects or goals or milestones that you're working on that all fail or don't succeed. Okay, let's look at the alternative number 2. You say no because you've got 7 projects on already. Now you know that 7 is your limit. You know that you're okay, you're stretched, but you're progressing them. Then the outcome could be that you missed out on the new opportunity, but you've managed to achieve the targets and goals on maybe 4 of your 7 projects, and 3 roll over. Okay, at that point in time, you can open dialogue again with that opportunity that you missed, and 9 times out of 10, scarcity is obviously used to try and get commitment, but 9 times out of 10, you can often go and revisit these things and reignite the opportunity further down the line. Not always, but quite often you can. So it might be that a few months down the line you reignite that opportunity, and as a result you finish the kind of 3 or 4 existing projects and you launch whatever this new opportunity is. So it's like a conveyor belt of goals, milestones, targets, objectives, projects, whatever you want to call them. It's like a conveyor belt, but you can only have a certain number on that conveyor belt at any given point in time before the weight is too heavy and the conveyor belt breaks. If the conveyor belt breaks, nothing progresses. Okay, so I think that's a really good analogy of understanding what you can and can't commit to. So like I say, I'm guilty of this. I'm currently, I think I have maybe 8 projects on. That's 1 too many, I know that. Okay, I'm working tirelessly to kind of correct it at the moment, but fortunately one of these projects is hopefully going to drop off this week, so then I'll be back to what I deem to be capacity. Now you might think that, I need to practice what I preach, and I absolutely do. And okay, I've been running through so much mud here, and it might be, I'm just going to wipe my feet, it might be that I need to practice what I preach. However, I know that I'm working at overcapacity at the moment, so I'm not, this isn't sustainable. So what I'm potentially doing at the moment is operating, pushing my machinery harder than it should be pushed. Now, if I do this for too long, the machine will break. If I do it for a very short space of time to correct it myself and get one of these projects off, that is possible. You cannot do this sustainably, and I'm fully aware of that. So I will have one of my projects completed very shortly, and I won't be taking on a new one to replace it until I've worked on the next one. So I am aware of it, but I am also open and honest with you that it's easy to kind of do these vlogs and come across as like a cyborg that does everything right. No, that's not what happens. The reality is that we're all guilty in many, many different ways. But the key here is that we're aware, we understand, and then we understand how to improve. And that's what we're striving for here. Improvement, continual improvement, because you never ever reach perfection. So hope this has been useful. There's not a lot more to say really on this topic. It's a mindset shift. It's just understanding, breaking down this quite big issue of over-promising, under-delivering, or overestimating, whatever you want to call it. And once you break it down, you understand the mechanics behind it, you can have a bit more of a structured process for how you deal with scenarios like I've just given you. So I hope this is useful. As always, I'll try and summarise before I finish actually. So how do we overcome this issue of over-promising, overestimating, overcoming the fear of missing out and just learning to say no? We'll have a process or a structure to your workload and your capacity. There's a lot of evidence that suggests no more than 3 to 7 projects, goals, milestones, targets, objectives, whatever you want to call them, you should be working on at any given time. Any more than that is too much. So have those 3 to 7, and if you've got those slots filled, then you just say no. Okay, if you're working on 6 and you know what, you think I could drop this in, I could do it, as long as you're realistic with timescales, then perhaps that is the right time to take on that new opportunity. But follow the rule of 3 to 7 projects, goals, milestones, objectives, targets, whatever you call them, at any given point in time. And what you'll find is that you'll be able to deliver on all of them, because if you take on one too many, it'll have a negative impact on all of the projects you're working on. Okay, just for the sake of one new opportunity, and you won't deliver on that as well. So if you take on one too many, it can be absolutely catastrophic. If you get the balance right, you'll work at an optimal level where you'll progress at the correct rate for you. And I think that's really, really important. Once you understand that, you'll be able to say no with more clarity. And it's not no forever, because once you finish one of those projects off, you can revisit that opportunity, and 9 times out of 10 you'll be able to reignite it. Not always, but 9 times out of 10, scarcity isn't as tight as people often tell you. Sometimes it is, so it's not always the case, but just in my experience, 9 times out of 10, knocking something back by a few months isn't often the end. So just bear that in mind. So that's it for me today. As always, if you've got any questions on this, drop me a comment and I will respond to everyone. If it's a bigger question, I'll do a separate vlog episode. I'll tag you in. If this episode is relevant to you, you can just unfollow me on your social feeds. It will stop cluttering up your news feeds, but please be aware that I do a different topic on every day of the week. So if you'd rather dip in and out on an ad hoc basis, check out my YouTube channel where all of the topics are nicely catalogued neatly by playlist, so that you can kind of dip in and out of relevant content on an ad hoc basis. Do check out my bio links as well, where I'm starting to put more and more free resources out there. The first one I've put out there is my 70-step process for repurposing, reformatting and optimising my social content across all platforms. So if you're looking to put more content out there in a time-effective way, check this out. Hopefully it will help you in some capacity. So all I have to say is that the Runpreneur blog was set up to help entrepreneurs and business owners overcome the emotions of stress, overwhelm and anxiety by using exercise, or in my case running, as a release valve, a release mechanism to kind of keep clarity and remain in control, relieve the pressure in the form of stress on a regular basis to stay in control. And it's often the difference between success and failure, how well an entrepreneur deals with these emotions that we all experience in life. Okay, but the analogy is the ones that do it well have this kind of release valve that relieve the pressure when it builds. They keep clarity, they keep control, they keep focus. The ones that don't, it's like the analogy of pressure building up in a pipe, whereas pressure is in the form of stress and the pipe is in the form of you. And ultimately what's going to happen if you don't relieve those stresses, they can turn into overwhelm, and then overwhelm will turn into anxiety, which is bordering on mental health related issues. And then one of two things that will happen is the pipe will burst. So what that basically means is that you, the entrepreneur, will break down, or your business will break down. Either or of those outcomes is often terminal to the likelihood of your business lasting the test of time. Now, I've been there. I've lost multiple businesses because of my inability to manage these emotions. I've lost business partners because of this, and I've almost been bankrupt because of this. But I'm on the way back up, fortunately, and there's no coincidence that the progress I've made in the last 8 months, which has coincided with me doing this running vlog, is I've made more progress in the last 8 months than I have in the previous 3 to 4 years. So there's enough evidence there for me to really want to give back and try and help people that are going through similar things to what I've been through, which, to be honest, I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy. So my pledge to you is that if you are struggling with these emotions, you're struggling with the overwhelm, the stresses of the entrepreneur world or life, drop me a message, okay? We'll jump on a call. There's no catch here whatsoever. I'll just give you a few steps and a bit of advice that's worked for me, and hopefully it'll work for you too, to get you back in control of your lives and moving in the right direction. Many have taken me up on this already, and I know that we've made really big positive impact on so many people's lives already. So please understand that help is there, and you don't always have to pay for it. It's free in many cases, but people don't often tell you that. So reach out, the opportunity's there should you need it. So that's it for me today. As always, if you like this episode, give it a like, comment and a subscribe. If you want to see similar content, check out the playlist link on the YouTube channel. And all that's left to say is, as always, Stay positive, stay happy, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.